The Flat Earth Awakening of Owen Benjamin. I do not know who Owen Benjamin is, nor do I care. But I do love listening to flat earthers, or apparently soon-to-be flat earthers, make reasonable-ish responses to people challenging their ideas.
Someone said not flat? Well, please f***ing tell me!
Alright, calm down, Owen, it's fine. I don't actually like responding to calm flat earthers, you're right. Where's the fun in that? I mean, we all know that if you are extremely emotionally invested in an idea, that means you will make the most rational defences of it and not come off more unhinged than a broken barn door. Anyway, go on then. Let's jump into the deep end of angry arguments. Should be good for a laugh, innit?
How you can go up into near-Earth orbit and stay still and the Earth is not flying by?
Really? Are you... Okay, you can't stay still and be in orbit. Those two ideas are completely and utterly incompatible. I mean, that in itself proves that you have literally zero comprehension of what you're talking about. So let me explain. An orbit is when something essentially is constantly falling toward a much larger object, but basically always misses. Much like when flat earthers try to understand basic physics and it just whooshes over their head, like zoom. For it to do that, it must be moving at an angle to the thing. It can't be still, and generally, when we put things into orbit, we also put them into synchronous orbits, because it's way, way easier to do. We tend to launch rockets with the spin of the Earth. It's like how it's easier to throw your ideas into the dumpster across from you if you do it with the wind instead of against it. Well, once the rocket is in less space, it's much easier to just go with the spin than against it. So no, spinny boy Earth beneath you. Ultimately, a still orbit is an oxymoron. Just like you without the oxy.
If it's spinning on a goddamn axis. Oh, I'm sorry, you can't explain it, can you?
Well, I think I did rather handily, thank you very much. And okay then, fine. You don't accept whatever explanation you handed to. Okay, explain how in a universe where even you and your soon-to-be mates can observe spherical objects all over the sky spinning and circling other objects, why does this one that we're on just so happen not to conform to those effects? Oh, and it just does, or God did it, and durr are not acceptable answers. I like them their pesky facts and evidence. Sosboss.
The fuck?
Easy, Tiger. If you keep that up, your eyes are going to shoot out of your head. And as awesome as that would be to see, I don't want anyone to have to clean up after yet another one of your ignorance-based messes. The fact that you don't know how to use a toilet without getting it on the walls, ceiling and inside the light fittings is already enough work for the cleaning lady. Poor Margaret.
All the people saying that the Earth is round
are correct, and I'm just being silly. Sorry about that angry outburst, folks. I don't know what came over me. You're not falling for it, are you? Damn it. See, if you lot were as unsmart as my subject here, you wouldn't have noticed and I could be done already on the beach sipping pina coladas. But instead, you lot gotta go and be the smart, making me have to do work. Darn you all to the hecking.
There's no way they understand the particle density and radio theory.
What's that got to do with the fact that you don't know what an orbit is or even means? Or at the very least in how it does or does not apply to the shape of the Earth? Hopefully you won't bother explaining it so I don't have to bother looking it up. That is one of the beauties if you become a flat earther. You don't have to put in any legwork apparently. But then neither do I. So it's win-win I guess. Except for Mad Mick, the Rocket Man. Godspeed. Actual attempter of science. No matter how poorly conceived the idea was, you can't have anything but respect for a flatty who actually bothered to try anything other than being an armchair astrophysicist and paying the ultimate price. Can you, Owen?
So when they say everyone's who thinks the Earth is flat...
They who? You mean trolls? Because why are you listening to trolls? They aren't actually interested in anything other than upsetting you. I mean, even I, mocker of the sillies, don't believe the vast majority of people who have unscientific ideas are mentally handicapped or ill or what have you. Because while I am here to make fun, I also actually try to explain things in a way that you might actually grasp and maybe think to yourself, wait, I hadn't thought about it like that. And if you don't, well, then I can still point and laugh so everybody wins again. But yeah, don't listen to trolls, for God's sake.
They don't understand why they think the Earth is round, is my bottom line.
Oh, your bottom line is no you, because that's what everyone is saying about flat earthers. Why do you think the Earth is flat? You say something that shows you have no understanding about how Earth does work, and you'll get that explained to you, probably while you try to lobotomize yourself through the nose with a crayon, and after they finish, you just say, no you. Huffety, huff, huff, huff.
They don't. So when people just go, oh, well, it's clearly just radio theory and frequency and particle... No, you don't know. You don't know.
What? I've never heard a single person talk about the shape of the Earth in regards to radio theory, whatever it is you actually mean by that, and is probably entirely irrelevant. Have you just been reading what flat earthers say the opinions of us silly globeheads are? Because that's literally the worst way to find out the opinions of someone you are trying to argue against. You aren't going to find their reasoning. You aren't going to learn anything other than your mates think they are wrong, and never actually learn how to argue against your opponents, or God forbid, learn what they know and discover that maybe you haven't got a clue what you're talking about. No, just shout at your camera and don't engage. Never engage. Learning is for nerds anyway.
And you're trying to fucking hold on to something that you don't understand.
Oh look, projection. Never seen that before, have we? Never have we had that in a single goddamn video I ever make. No! Also, no sarcasm, no whiskey, no self-deprecating jokes about my lack of intelligence, or true fact statements about my doing a handsome.
And that's the problem I have.
The problem? Dude, come on. We're all friends here. You have just so many problems. I wouldn't even know where to start. But most of them are about your ability to do a braining, or lack thereof. That and I bet you smell. Probably of tuna and rusty keyboards. No, I don't know how a keyboard can be rusty, but somehow he managed it.
It's people with this condescending attitude, but they don't actually know anything.
As opposed to an angry shouting attitude and not knowing anything. You're funny, you are.
But they go, oh, I mean, you're such a idiot. Like, why would... Then explain to me.
Oh, I hope to goodness that this isn't going to be the question you've already asked and has been thoroughly explained both why you don't understand what you are asking and what actually happens. Because that would just make you sound so very, very silly now, wouldn't it?
How you can go above the atmosphere and you do not see a spinning Earth.
Yep, thought so. Not even sure I'm capable of being shocked anymore. Actually, you know what? I take that back. The depths to which the flat Earth sinkhole can truly reach are beyond my tiny little mind to comprehend.
Explain to me how NASA shows us images of the Earth that are photoshopped. The clouds are duplicates of the other clouds in the thing.
How they Photoshop them? I mean, it's probably not actually Photoshop, but that hardly matters. Yes, high quality pictures of the Earth are composite images. They kind of have to be. Earth is like really big. Like really, really big, and cameras are teeny tiny comparatively speaking. That and most of the pictures are done from what is a fairly close range. I mean, imagine trying to photograph a basketball with a smartphone from an inch away. You aren't going to get much of it in the lens. And if you want to show the entire surface of it in one photo, well, you're going to have to take a bunch of pictures and stitch them together to show the whole lot. And of course, clouds exist, which will make these stitches really obvious, which is aesthetically ugly, so copy paste them about, make it look a bit nicer. If they were trying to hide it, surely they would just procedurally generate a volumetric cloud layer that would be entirely unique all over. But perhaps it's to leave the Illuminati clues, TM, that they always have to leave for the smarts. And of course, that is not to mention that the pictures that exist that are taken of Earth from a distance in its entirety are taken from far away and thus are of relatively low quality, but I guess that makes those fake too, for some reason.
Does that not ring any bells?
The only bells here are of the U variety. You know, 'cause you're a massive belly.
Flat. Oh, this is gonna think the Earth is flat. By the way, I'm not arguing that the Earth is flat.
Aren't you though? I mean, you seem to be denying an awful lot of science in order to not be arguing against it.
I just want people to explain to me how it's round.
You're in early onset whoopidity. It's a damn shame. But the symptoms are clear. Getting emotionally invested in your questions, shouting, acting like no one has given you any answers when chances are you either weren't listening or you just don't understand them, and instead of accepting that, you decide that everyone else is wrong. Whoopidity is tough to cure, but we will be sure to put you in a nice home. You just have to go with my friends in white coats here.
I'm not comfortable with any of this, and I'm not on board with the flat Earth thing at all.
It shouldn't make you uncomfortable. It should make you comfortable. Facts are just facts. And having pretty much any other feeling than, that's interesting, or maybe, that's amusing, but instead getting shouty angry, or really, really sad, or whatever is just kind of odd to me. I mean, some facts are remarkable and intellectually engaging, but I have never had a strong, visceral reaction to them. And when I first heard of the flat Earth, I lightly chuckled, then I heard their arguments, and that's when I really started laughing, but not to the point of being upset.
I'm just finding the arguments for round Earth to be
factually accurate. I know, I hate it when things are correct. I mean, what's the point of facts? All facts do is make predictions and are useful for building the things that we make and do every day work. No, I want some nonsense that doesn't do diddly squat. That's where it's at, dog.
Because I'm preparing to debate this Eric Dubay guy. Dubay.
I think I've heard that name, but I'm not sure who that be. Not sure I do a caring either. I try not to focus on names because arguments are so much more interesting when you come without a preconceived notion of what's going to happen. Although I do like a few guys, but that's mostly because they are just such fun. I mean, Roger Murphy's University, anyone? He is marvellous.
And so I want my arguments concrete.
Well, you're doing a pretty poor job of it thus far, aren't you? I mean, you seem to be trying to get your answers from a live chat or something? That's going to be pretty flipping limited. And a debate? Well, that's not likely to get you any useful data either, other than who is better at debating, me or this guy? I mean, seriously, that's why I don't do live debates. I would almost certainly be bad at them, 'cause I am the stupid. But some people seem to think that debates are the only way of establishing fact, when that couldn't be further from the truth.
The arguments for round Earth are horrible.
Well, what are they then? I mean, you can sit there all day long and say, they're bad, they're bad, they're bad. But unless you actually say them, no one can correct you on your massive misunderstanding of them. Yes, I know that's me presuming, but come on, do you really think he has any idea what an actual round Earth argument looks like? I doubt it.
Dude, I'm getting angry because everybody that's acting like I'm has not thought through any of their arguments. So if we see a bunch of circles in the sky, does that mean they're spheres or fucking dinner plates? You can't prove it.
What? Are you kidding me? Has he never heard of telescopes? Has he never heard of radar or the countless other tools that we have that can be used to figure out what things are, where they are, and how they move? I can't even. The flat earth awakening of Owen Benjamin is more like watching someone go into a coma from pure ignorance. It's pathetic. Did you know there are various buttons and doodads on this very page? There's a subscribe button here, a notification bell there, and a like button down that way. Press them now. Don't ask a question, just do it before they stop you. You wouldn't want them to stop you, would you? Not in insert country here. Also, while you're at it, buy some merch, join the Whiskey Club, and support me on Patreon. That'll show 'em.